疲れ様、ハルくん。ゆっくり休んでね。僕は君に惚れちゃったみたい。大好きだよ、アル。
So I'm not going to say that I haven't been worried about this anime per se, because I don't know if worried is the right kind of moniker to put on my feelings towards farming skill anime over here. But what I will say is, over the last... okay, let me say this. I think over the first 3 episodes of the anime and the last 3 episodes of the anime, I will say that the last 3 episodes of the anime kind of gave me some worry in a sense, because I think the first 3 episodes of the anime set such a really cool precedence to have such a silly concept of an anime work. I think it initially came out and set up some stakes, set up a really silly premise. It set up a really silly character with really silly ideals, but it did really good plot and world building. I think kind of where it began to miss a little bit is when it began to introduce the high stakes and the kind of the way that it kind of fumbled the ball. But now that we've moved away from the Helen Ouroboros stuff and we've moved into now like the Ruri and hero, Demon King hero elements of the anime, and we have a lot of questions now with like Al's mother. Where does she fall in? Who was she? Who is she? What is Al a descendant of? Why is he so powerful? So we have all these different questions now, again, on top of a silly premise. I think that now we're back on the trajectory where the first 3 kind of set up, and the worry of the last 3 kind of have gone away a little bit. And that's just kind of my personal opinion. Now, I will say at the end of the day, I don't think this anime is going to be, a slugger, a home run. I think this is just going to be a very solid 7 out of 10 anime. And at the end of the day, in my personal opinion, is we need a lot of 7 out of 10 anime that is watchable and good and can fill a hole that we all seemingly need when we get to the end of watching the masterpiece anime, right? If I think about this season, right, you have Chainsaw Man, Bleach, My Hero Academia, Eminence in Shadow. You have some like serious hitters, and if you only have so much time, to watch these hitters, when you're done watching them until the next season or till another anime that interests you, a lot of these anime that are good, not great, but are good, are definitely needed to fill your time if anime is the type of media that you like to consume, right? Like me personally, I'm not somebody who's going to log in and watch, Netflix or regular TV shows or even like movies. So when I have free time, if I'm not playing like a game, then I'm watching an anime. So I think a lot of these anime are definitely needed. So that's where I think this farming anime comes in. So now let's talk about this episode specifically. I think this episode was really good. I would give this episode an 8 out of 10. This introduced a high-stakes element or a high-stakes enemy in this low-key Davia, and kind of gave us some more insight onto everything that's going on. Obviously, it seems like this guy might be a descendant or might be somebody who's working more on the evil side of things. Again, he made it very aware that there's kind of 2 splits down the middle, and one side of them is the good god power, which is where the hero descends from, and the good of the world. And the other side is the Demon King power, which is from the evil god's power, which is kind of where these demons descend from and stuff like that. So they have their agenda over here, and these guys over here are just trying to protect the peace, protect the world. At least it's kind of how it seems so far. So this low-key Davia person was introduced to us, and he basically let us know that he has been watching Al very closely defeat the enemies, defeat the Ouroboros, all this other stuff, So he's been keeping a close eye. He's like, yo, we need to take you out because you are a serious threat to kind of what our agenda is. So not only was he trying to, get rid of Al, he was also trying to get rid of Ruri because obviously Ruri is the hero descendant, and he kind of called her out for not having the good god's power, blah, 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 blah. And, through some back and forth activities between him fighting both Al and both Ruri, eventually Al gets to the point of inspiring Ruri, really going out of his way to protect her, really, kind of definitively being macho about it and kind of really inspiring Ruri to take action. that eventually we're able to get to a point to where she calls upon the good god's power that's basically has been dormant in her. She's able to kind of call it out and defeat this low-key Davia person. Of course, we know that that's not going to be the end of it. There's somebody above him. There's somebody above him all the way up to the Demon King or whoever the next Demon King is going to be. So there's going to be a lot more folks coming after our boy Al and after Ruri for sure as the anime kind of ensues. Then the anime, after his defeat, the anime transitions into Ruri's confession that she really likes Al, which is really cool. And it's because, kind of the way he takes care of her and kind of how he's different than anybody else that she's basically encountered before and how immediately important she was to him, right? It's not very often that somebody, has a hero complex and just puts himself out there. He genuinely does like Ruri, and it might not be like in a love-like type sense, but he definitely has some kind of affinity or affection towards her. He made that known here, and, the affection was definitely reciprocated on Ruri's part, probably a little bit more than, kind of what it was given. But regardless, she's now going to be kind of like his protector and vice versa, which is really cool to see. So she confessed to him while he was sleeping. He passed out. Then the next part was, okay, we're going to go on and we're going to return back to the Empire or the Kingdom or whatever. Ruri's now going to be his bodyguard, second in command. She'll be there. Obviously she wants to be in the main kingdom anyways because that's where the main stuff goes on. Now he has in his repertoire Helen, he has Ruri, and he has the princess, which leads us into the next episode, which is, there's something going on with the princess specifically. And I love how the princess is most like his mom. Speaking about his mom definitely was out, looking for him. And he was so worried about her meeting Ruri that he had to take off and, basically princess carry Ruri out of there. The things I didn't like about this episode specifically is I'm tired of Al being the one-punch farming man. I definitely think this man needs some magic. He needs some other moves. He just continually tries to punch his way out of things, and this episode made it clearly evident that this dude cannot just simply punch his way out of his problems. He needs a bigger repertoire of magic, moves, something. He needs more than just, punch, kick. It's not fun to watch, so I'm hoping that maybe with Ruri now, maybe with his inspiration, that this dude decides to go and learn some stuff, because he definitely needs to learn some stuff, because if he just continues to be the one-punch farming man, I don't think that's good for us, the viewer. It's not fun to watch. It's pretty boring, and that's not good for him as the actual character in the anime. So I think that's kind of what really needs to get better. I'm excited for what's to come next with Ruri and with Helen and with the princess meeting Ruri and all that's going to come across there. And I'm excited for what comes next. I think this was a good episode. I did enjoy it. And this has me more excited for what's to come next, as opposed to me feeling like, oh, this anime is going downhill. Excuse me. I think we're back on the uphill trajectory, which is really, really good. All right. Aside from that cough that probably blew your ears out, I'm so sorry about that. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. And my friends, I will see you guys next weekend. Peace.